Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about one of the subjects that has been argued over for centuries. To what extent are people evil? There are some that believe in ultimate hierarchy, and there should be one ultimate government. No one can be overruled. These have also tended to believe as that humans are inherently evil. On the other hand, those who oppose, though they also believe there should be some form of government, it shouldn't be ruled by only one or powerful sovereign. Those believe that people should be governed lightly and subjected to them. There are some who believe whether a person is good or evil depends on their need for survival, the way of their born and the way for they were raised, or even their social and psychological status. The other half are convinced that people are inherently good, and that's represented in Gilgamesh and Antigone by Ahmad and Marihan. However, there is something called duality, which refers to having two parts, often with opposite meanings, like the duality of good and evil, peace and war, love and hate, up and down, and black and white. All of these are all of these are dualities, and that's also presented in Mr. Hyde and Dr. Jekyll by Marian.
Another example of duality exists in Gilgamesh ancient story. According to the story, Gilgamesh is a cruel and unruly leader since the beginning of the story. There is no one he is afraid of. He is a conceived of gods, and that gives him extraordinary strength and status. As a result, he kills people and rapes their children with no able to stop him. As Enkidu enters his life, his transformation begins, and he turns into a hero worthy of remembrance. However, this extraordinary love that the two have for each other has have it changed when Enkidu was died. It changed positively. Gilgamesh is transformed into a completely different person. Enkidu's love and friendship help him to realize the importance of several things, including life itself, which Gilgamesh had been wasting in cruelly. Secondly, in the death of Enkidu, he realized that this could take away everything from him that he believed to be his. Nothing endures forever, and Gilgamesh decided to leave behind a name which people could love and respect after his death. This is a brief example about how the person can change it from an evil to a good man.
The duality of goodness and evilness was clearly shown in Antigone's story, especially for Crane. This situation was strongly shown in Crane's character in the story at the very beginning. There was mixed signs of evilness and goodness. We can say that when Crane ordered that Polynices' body, his knives, is to be left rotting in the sun and preyed upon by vultures and scavenging dogs, anyone caught trying to bury him will be executed. That was Crane's decision. Crane's situation was out of ordinary. As a head of the family, he was obliged by religious custom to oversee the burial of his nephew, but in the larger civic context of the country he led, he could refuse these rights to territory. He chose to maintain civic order as he alone saw fit. Leaving his nicest body unburied on the battlefield was a harsh and shameful punishment at that time, and that showed the evil part of Crane's soul, as he chose the throne rather than his knife. And here he thought that he was doing the right thing, the good thing, to protect his throne and giving a lesson to citizens, showing them his power from the beginning. But in fact, that was evilness, totally. Also, the evil side was shown in Crane's character when he decided to bury Antigone alive. When he discovered that she tried to bury her brother's body, disobeying his rules, he wanted to punish her and left her in a cave uh, without killing her. He left her to die directly and without any. On the other hand, the goodness in the crane's soul appears when he changed his decision and discovered his mistake after Tiresias has warned him that God will not be pleased by his decision and he will lose everything. He ordered to bury uh, Polynices, and before freeing Antigone, he knew that she killed herself. So, as we can see, that the good side of Crane's personality was shown after Tiresias warned him, although he lost uh, his uh, um, his son and his wife. They both killed themselves. But this punishment brought wisdom to Cranes, and that in that way we can see that Crane has both evilness and goodness. At the very beginning, he was evil, although he thought that was good, but after realizing the evilness that he has done, he changed his decisions and tried to be as good as possible. And that's it.
According to the story of Mr. Jekyll and Dr. Hyde, the writer described the duality of human nature, how there is a good and an evil side to everyone's personality, but what's important is the decisions you make that determine whether you're a good person or not. So the writer described this concept according to the characters Mr. Hyde and Dr. Jekyll, who were totally the opposite. Hyde was portrayed as an evil looking dwarfed man with a violent temper, while Jekyll was a respected man of science, good natured, and leader of his own circle of friends. Not only are these men two halves of the same person, but they are described as polar opposites. One is considered good and the other is evil. It means that once Hyde exists, he slowly seems to take over to destroy Jekyll, and Hyde's takeover of Jekyll seems to suggest a less clear explanation in which the human condition is not in fact double, but it's considered as a repression for dark urges. So, once the repression of those dark urges breaks, it becomes impossible to be put back into place, allowing the true dark nature of man to emerge. Also, there was this quote um, I have observed that when I wore the semblance of Edward Hyde, none could come near me at first without a visible misgiving of the flesh. Jekyll here was arguing that Hyde was the perfect physical embodiment of the evil inside him, implying that Hyde looks evil. So it all started, or we can say that this all started when Dr. Jekyll confessed to his friend Utterson that he had been for a long time fascinated by the duality of his own nature, and he believed that this is a condition that affects all men. His obsession with his own darker side gave the novel its plot, but also its psychological implications. Even before the climax of the story, in which it's revealed that Hyde and Jekyll are the same person, but are the same person, the duality of their personalities creates a tension between the good Jekyll and Hyde, who symbolizes pure evil. In the end, Dr. Jekyll wanted to free his good and evil sides, yet the dark side ended up taking over. But the only thing that he could be considered as a tragic hero was ending his own life to protect the world from the evilness of Mr. Hyde.
To sum up, it has been said that all readings we had done had given us a view of life they have never seen. So this quotation shows the significant impact of reading and hearing novels and articles and speeches on people's life, and how to assist them in building their characters. That's what we see in three different stories. Evil is prevention of goodness. In other words, evil is goodness spoiled. You can have good without evil, but you can't have evil without good.